everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Olga Olnuzola Nunnink. If this is your first time, I'm a visual artist, tarot reader and healer from the Netherlands. In this video I'm gonna share some insights and thoughts of me having a retrospect of 2020 and its connection to the archetype, the Emperor. I'm going to share what the Emperor is, the archetype, and in what way 2020 was the Emperor. Taking a moment, which we can do now together in this video, I invite you to, if you're interested, take this retrospect to a next personal level after this video. Think about what this all means to you. Looking at a period of time in retrospect can help us to, analyze and bring structure to the things that we've learned. Think about how we've overcome obstacles, and that in itself suits the archetype of the Emperor. Now I have my Emperor card from my tarot decks here in front of me. I've wrote some stuff down for this video, and also I have some old notes from my studies next to me, but I notice I tend to prefer improvisation when I do some things, when I share my experience or my thoughts or my ideas with people. It feels more natural than when I go from step to step, but that's because I'm the Empress. My number is 3, which is the Empress in the tarot, which is the number that comes before 4. So it's an interesting exercise if you think about it, that I'm trying to create some structure here. So I'm going to show you the tarot cards. This is the Emperor from my first tarot deck, the Thoth deck. The Emperor, the archetype, is the King of Kings, the ruler of kingdoms, leader. He is fearless. And he is someone who already has overcome obstacles. He conquered kingdoms, right? It has the energy of power, the male aspect of nature. But I also read that, I think it's in the book of Thoth. Oh, my cat was doing something. In the book of Thoth, it also says mind over nature. It is the card that resonates with the sign of Aries, which is the ram. My hair is inspired by that today. Color is red. There's a sense of royalty, so I have the bee here. Knowledge of self. What's the English word? Self-confidence. So I'm wearing my Olga, my golden name necklace, golden, royal, the highest. But I'm staying true to the energy of the Empress as well. Oh, Jaleb, so chaotic. It does suit 2020, right? The Animus, number 4, stability, foundation, safety, protection. It's the father figure, authority, government. I think there's a big possibility that by now you're already seeing connections between this archetype And this year is the leader. There's authority, order, conqueror, vision, analyze, and also the experience as a man. If you are a man, this year was very masculine. How was your experience as being a man for you this year? So I will be throwing some questions in it for you to think about. If you're a woman, what experiences did you have with men this year? This masculine aspect is about the conscious mind, as opposed to the subconscious and the intuition of the feminine. The masculine energy is the conscious mind, measuring things, defining things, linear life. This is this. You want to understand things. Even though Aries is the sign of fire, the Emperor also embodies the element of earth, manifestation, solid, tangible manifestation, materials, luxury. I lost the thing. Yeah, manifestation on a physical level. And the Aries aspect represents a sudden violent, impermanent activity. That says the Book of Thoth. If you think about the Aries, the ram, how this animal behaves, it can be very aggressive, right? With the horns, like dunk, you know, like suddenly it's like several things are going through my mind now. Like it's so swift, the aggression is so swift. Where shall I go next? Yeah, give form to life, structure, material possessions, finances, pay debts, physical, mental, and spiritual. And all these things that I wrote down now are either things that I picked up from my tarot books that speak specifically about this Emperor archetype. So keywords, and also things that I read or thought about, like, yeah, that makes sense, that really suits this archetype. And I'm going to share some things of how I think that 2020 was the Emperor. So the first thing that is kind of in your face to me when I think about the Emperor and 2020 is leadership, government, control. So we can think about, what did I wrote down? Oh, it's over here. We can think about these archetypes from within ourselves. How does this archetype expresses itself through you? But also, how does this archetype expresses itself through others? If you are a leader, how have you been a leader? Have you conquered new kingdoms? Have you protected your people? How do we treat those we lead? And how do we handle the burdens we carry? A key word for a leader is responsibility. Are you mature and wise enough to handle power? What does power mean to you? Because there's a light and a dark side of everything. The dark side here can be tyranny. Pressuring your beliefs onto somebody, exploiting people, exploiting the land. In astrology, what I find interesting, hey Moppy. In astrology, what I find interesting is that the sign of Aries is the opposite of the sign of Libra. Now the ruling planet of Aries is Mars. The ruling planet of Libra is Venus. So this year we've been experiencing a sort of a battle between the masculine and the feminine. What else did I wrote down here? Yeah, also building, renovating or rebuilding a foundation, a house. Again, protection and safety. So how was 2020 the Emperor? The authority, government, order, control. I think we know that this year is coming into the history books. Because because of many reasons. I don't know about the whole history, but I think especially for our generations, we've never experienced a year in which we have been looking at our leaders so much, in which we have been paying attention to our leaders so much. You know, because of this COVID crisis and because of all these restrictions, the leaders decided that for us, the leaders have been put to the test. How they have to protect us. And that has come also with restrictions. These restrictions started in the Netherlands, these restrictions started in March, which is the month of spring, which is the month of Aries, which is interesting to me as well. And in March, there was this sudden violent activity. Like a ram with his horns, like, no, your reality isn't what it is anymore. What is going on? Like, everybody got bumped by the horns of the ram. What is going on? So swift, you never saw it coming, right? It was attack after attack after attack. First, oh yeah, I almost forgot. What about the wildfires in the beginning of the year? Aries being a fire sign. Nature was in fire. Wildfires on earth. The Emperor is the King of Kings. The head. The crown. Corona means crown. Oh shit. Questions. that we've been asking ourselves this year. Am I safe? When am I safe? Am I safe if I hug my mother? Is my mother safe when I hug her? Am I safe if I walk around the street? In the beginning of this corona shit, nobody knew exactly what it was. We still don't really know what it is, right? In the beginning, it was like, what distance do I need to keep between people to stay safe? Am I only safe in the house? Safety, protection. The emperor is supposed to create that, to create a safe foundation, a safe space. Protection. And what is your foundation? The number 4. If you think about the number 4, it's a square. The square is also a symbol that connects to the root chakra. Also the color red. In Dutch, red is even rood. Rood, root. Safety, foundation. What is your foundation? There's another thing that I find interesting in the Crowley Tarot. This is, I think, well, I'm not sure if it's my favorite tarot book, but this is definitely in the top 3. It said under the subject ritual, under the emperor, sacrifice and asceticism. Now this word, excuse me, this word is new to me, so I looked it up. But apparently asceticism, you write it like this. Where is it? Apparently it means avoiding pleasure and comfort, especially for religious, I wrote next to it, spiritual reasons. Avoiding pleasure and luxuries, no, that's what I added to it. Avoiding pleasure and comfort, especially for religious reasons. I say we have been refrained and restrained from luxuries with these lockdowns and with less income for a lot of us. A lot of people have been losing their jobs. A lot of people have earned less income. The lockdowns refrained us from going out to shop, going out for entertainment. The lockdown forced us to stay at home, in the house, literally, physically our foundation, our safe space, with less luxury, because, yeah, I'm repeating myself. So I found this word very interesting, especially because this is how I look at this whole thing. I hear people complaining about everything. Oh, they're complaining. Look, a lot of those people that are complaining are spoiled brats, man. Because I know that because of Corona, because of COVID, a lot of people are suffering. People are losing their jobs, are constantly stressed out because they're afraid that they won't be able to pay their bills, which, you know, attacks their foundation. They're not certain about their safety anymore because they're not certain whether or not they're keeping their house, right? Stuff like that. Those are situations that are crucial, that are extreme. But most people that are complaining about the fact that they can't go out anymore. They can't go to the club. They can't go to a restaurant. They can't go to the shopping mall. And I was thinking so many times, the fuck are they crying about? Excuse my language, this is my channel, I'm just talking how I talk. All the things that we're missing because of this is luxury. Like here in the Netherlands, they say we have a lockdown, but we never really have a lockdown. Now this last month, it's not more or less, we've finally got the lockdown, but that only means that, I mean, we can still go to the supermarket. All the essential stores are still open. So in that sense, our basic needs aren't attacked. It's just the luxury is gone. And then back to the word asceticism, avoiding pleasure and comfort, especially for religious, I say for spiritual reasons. It brings us back to the basic. It brings us back to what is my foundation? What does that mean to me? What is it that I really need, and what is it that I don't really need, you know? If you find your foundation, if you find for yourself what it is that you truly need, you don't need the club. Look, I'm starting to miss it myself, but I'm just saying it's a luxury and it will come again, you know? These lockdowns and all this stuff that has been happening, it forces us to be at home more, to live with less luxury, and that gives us the opportunity to be more conscious about what we do have. We have what we need. Be thankful for what you have. Yeah, and I also wrote down, on a world scale in 2020, everybody has been paying more attention to our leaders. I mentioned that before. How have the leaders been handling what they needed to handle? And what you think about Trump and the whole election? That was this year. We're talking about the emperor here. I'm not saying that Trump is the emperor, but he was the leader, right? In the States. But also here in the Netherlands, our prime minister, you know, there's this what's the word again? Conference. I don't know. I don't follow it every week. Is it every week or every 2 weeks or at least once a month? I don't know. Maybe it's every Tuesday or something. You know, the whole country is watching the television, watching the prime minister every week, listening to what the new restrictions are, or what the new what's the other word? Easing. No, I forgot the word. You know, when there are less restrictions. A lot of people are waiting for the leaders to tell them what to do, to tell them what they can or cannot do. But also another type of leaders. What do you think about the leaders that have been stepping their game up in the organizations for the liberation of black people and the justice for black people? You know? People that say, nobody tells me what I should do. I decide my own destiny. Every person has the right to decide their own destiny. Every man got the right to decide his own destiny. That's Bob Marley. Every man got the right to decide his own destiny. And people are realizing that on another level. So, but there are so many perspectives in which we can look at this. Me personally, also on the work floor, you know, your supervisor is also a leader. In a business, in an organization or in a business, you know, the CEO or the supervisor, he or she is the emperor. I have quit my job twice this year. And my mom taught me young that my supervisor isn't my boss. A lot of people, it's just such an old-fashioned word to call your supervisor or CEO or manager boss. I never done that. But supervisor, manager, or CEO is a leader, right? So in the business world, you could say that those people are the emperors. How have they been treating their employees during these crises? How mature and wise are they to carry the burden of being a leader? Are they a leader because they truly want to grow with the community? Or are they a leader just to feed their own ego and you know, and I've had different experiences with managers, supervisors this year. And I'm not going into much detail about them. But when I look back at this year, I know that when I embody the emperor, because this is an archetype which all of us have the door of, we can all find, well, either the door is already open in your spirit, in your being, or you still need to find the key to unlock the door to the archetype. But for me, it was necessary that I became more assertive again, that I stood up for myself, that I protect myself, and that I create my own safe space. Because I'm sorry, but the men in my life failed miserably. They weren't able to protect me. And I think as people, we all have our own responsibilities, but in a natural sense, men are here to protect women. The emperors are here to protect the empresses. And yeah, let's just stick to that. What can I add to it? How shall I end this video? If you are into tarot, I invite you to do this same exercise as the one that I shared with you in my previous video about the Hermit, to pull out all your cards of the Emperor. Okay, fuck, so I pressed stop recording and I didn't notice that, so I just kept talking for 10 minutes or something. I was about to end the video, and I told you, if you're into tarot, I invite you to do the same exercise as what I shared with my last video about the Hermit. You can pull out your cards and have a look at them. And pull out your books. But even if you're not into tarot, or you're into tarot but you don't own them, you can Google the archetype of the Emperor and use that information for yourself to look back at this year and what this year meant for you. I would like to end this video with a part of the information on the Emperor in this book, the Crowley Tarot, the handbook to the cards. Here, general meaning. So a quick look. I really like this book because it has a lot of information, but also clear. different sections. So this is for the emperor. These 2 pages are for the emperor. And these 2 pages are for the emperor. So there's a lot of information. And here it says, the emperor stands for the structure-giving element. Our longing for stability, security, and continuity. He shows us our striving for independence from the conditionality of nature, which is naturally the opposite of devoting oneself to the flowing course of creation. Empress. Reminds me again of the Mars and Venus and the Aries and the Libra. The relationship between the masculine and the feminine, or should I say the feminine and the masculine. This part, he shows us our striving for independence from the conditionality of nature. That reminds me of the time in history where there wasn't as much structure as there is today. In my belief, in my experience, there's too much structure right now. We're not, the masculine and the feminine isn't in balance, isn't in harmony. That is the problem, in my opinion, right now. The feminine has been suppressed. That's a subject that is so huge. I'm not gonna talk about that in this video, but I do want to mention it. But this part, he shows us our striving for independence from the conditionality of nature. There used to be a time where the structure of the emperor was necessary for our safety, for our protection, for our survival. Think about the time where there weren't cities, the time where people started to create villages, people started to create agriculture. We needed that structure, that masculine planning and protection, building. We literally needed those fences to protect ourselves from wild beasts. We needed to make plans to preserve food in the cold winter time or in hot climates, in the dry seasons. We needed that planning. We needed that emperor. We needed that planning. He embodies, and then which is naturally the opposite of devoting oneself to the flowing course of creation. So we must be careful not to be too structural, too inside of the square. There shouldn't be too much rules, because then there's no possibility for the flow of things, for the cycle, the cyclical movement, which is natural, which we do find in the universe. Like literally the movement of the planet is natural, It says he embodies the lineal, she the round. This is why he believes in linear development and she has faith in cycles. Everything has a definite beginning and an end for him, in contrast to her viewpoint of eternal cycles and rebirth. He emphasizes the right, conscious side and claims that only he is right and that she is gauche. Don't know what that word is. You guys probably know. She emphasizes the left, intuitive side and calls him limited and dogmatic. He prefers to live in square forms, in quarters, rectangular houses, sections of cities, and is considered to be a town planner. In contrast, she lives in round, in caves and tents, and prefers the village community. Between the two of these cards there is a grimly embattled boundary, a fence, upon which the witch Hagazusa sits. I never heard of her. I'm gonna look her up. Maybe she has the key to get back in harmony. It is a boundary between nature and wilderness on the one hand, and culture and civilization on the other. If this border were not constantly defended by the emperor, the empress would take back bit by bit all that has so arduously been wrested from her. Within this century, however, it appears that the emperor has finally managed to progress so far as to seriously injure the empress. Now she no longer perches on the fence, but rather in the ozone hole, the vapor of mustard gas, or the cloud of radioactivity. And the seriously wounded but enraged empress sends one natural catastrophe after the other. And the seriously wounded but enraged empress sends one natural catastrophe after the other, which he downplays by calling it Vivian or Wiebke. Don't know what it is. She shows him that his air conditioning system may be nice and expensive, but looks quite ludicrous in comparison to hers. Now, I wanted to end in that way because every archetype has a light and a dark side. The Emperor is the father figure. To my men I say, to the men I say, get to know yourself again. Be self-confident. Be a protector. Expand your mind. Be open-minded to the ideas of women. We have to work together. And I think that we all can see that we need change in this world. We need some shade from the trees during a hot day. Let them grow. We need air, we need space. Hey, lieverd. Yeah, I think that's it. So next year is gonna be 2021, which equals 5, which is the Hierophant. And I think that's gonna be my next video. I'm not sure when I'm gonna make it and upload it, but it will be uploaded somewhere in January. Check me out on Instagram. Let me know if you want a tarot reading. Yeah, that's it. Hit the like button if you liked it. Let me know what resonated with you. I now realize that the whole time I've been looking at the home button instead of the camera, which is on that side. Oh well. Sending you lots of love and light, and protect nature.